Today we are going to talk all about sushi, but not the sushi that was invented around 3rd BC in China. We're going to be talking about fun sushi. So typically we think of Japan as sushi, which is the perfection of Japanese cuisine. It's putting together their wonderful love of sushi and their wonderful idea of quality ingredients in food and perfecting it in just the perfect little presentation. However, most children do not like sushi, so today we are going to do a spin on sushi called Fun Sushi. If you've ever taken 7th grade with Mrs. P, you would know that we do like Rice Krispies Fun Sushi, but today we're going to make it just a little bit more nutritious, and I'm going to show you 2 fun styles that you can easily do at your home. We're going to start with banana sushi, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for you all now so that you can go ahead and see the ingredients that we're going to need. You can make this as healthy as you want and as creative as you want. Here is a sneak peek at what we are doing. So as you can see, we are using bananas. We're using sun butter, peanut butter, or soy butter, even almond butter will work. Whatever kind of butter you choose to use is fine. I know my daughter is allergic to peanuts, so we use sun butter in our house. So one recipe will be sun butter and another will be peanut butter today. We're going to be using strawberries. I know strawberries are hard to find right now, so if you can't find strawberries, that's fine. Go ahead and use any berry that you have. And then we can use mini chocolate chips or nuts. I like nut pieces versus chocolate chips just to make this a little more nutritious for my children. So whichever way you want to go is perfectly fine. And last, we're going to use some crushed graham crackers. So with all of that, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to bring you back and let's get out our ingredients. All right. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and measure out our ingredients first, and then we're going to start slicing, and then we'll start putting it all together. We always want to make sure we have our ingredients first, just so when we start putting everything together, it is a lot simpler. So I have a couple cutting boards here. I have my top cutting board and my lower cutting board. And the reason I have both of those is because we're going to be using a couple different things. If you haven't washed your hands, take a break real quick and go wash them. Remember, happy birthday song or ABCs. Making sure you really get underneath those fingernails too. Speaking of happy birthday, tomorrow is my daughter's 5th birthday. So I am recording this today on a Sunday for all of you. All right, when we look at our recipe, it says we need strawberries. I have already gotten my strawberries rinsed. They are right here. I actually had some frozen strawberries that I just defrosted. So we're going to go ahead and be using these today. If you want strawberries, for some reason there is a strawberry shortage. Some crops got ruined. So that is why there is a shortage. You can go to any farmer's market. A lot of the local strawberries are still available right now. So any farmer's market would have strawberries, or again, use any berries that you want. So 2 tablespoons chopped strawberries. Again, watch those fingers. Make sure those berries are flat, firm grip on the knife, and claw grip. Okay, tip down, slide. And we need about 2 tablespoons of strawberries. Watching those fingers. Now this is a tablespoon, all right? There's a big difference between a tablespoon and a teaspoon. So make sure you are using the right one. So that's about 1 tablespoon. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in my little ramekin dish. And let me go ahead and get my next strawberry ready. You can cut off the end, all right, so it lies flat, or you can cut it, remember that little bridge? You can cut it in half so it lies flat that way as well. Either way you want to do it's fine, just making sure it's flat and it's not rolling all around. Watch those fingers, tuck them in, tip down, slide, tip down, slide, tip down, slide. You can rotate your cutting board or your fruit, whichever one is easier for you. Gathering it back up, pinching or claw, you decide, but watch those fingers, especially those pinkies that have a mind of their own. They like to stick out because they have a habit of trying to balance us, but when we're using knives, it's not a really good idea for it to try to balance itself. So this is probably a little less. I'm going to do one more. This one already has the top cut off. I'm going to go ahead and make that tunnel, tip down, claw, flat, flat. Because these are previously frozen, they are just a little squishy. Maybe yours will be firmer. Hopefully you can find some. I know Dory Park has a farmer's market. Goochland has a farmer's market. Mannequin Sabbath has a farmer's market right now. So lots of farmer's markets since we are in the season of spring. Lots and lots of farmers market. Even there's some indoor farmers markets too that you can hit. Oh, what is that? Lakeside. Lakeside has an indoor farmers market. All right, so we have our strawberries, and let's see, we're going to need to cut a banana, so I'm going to use this cutting board one more time for a banana. I have my banana right here. These little brown spots, it is still a perfectly good banana. That just makes it a little bit sweeter. And I don't know about you all, but I prefer a sweet banana than a green banana. I'm not a huge fan of green bananas that are kind of tart and a little hard. All right, so this says in our recipe that we are going to place a banana on a serving platter and slice it into sushi pieces. So I have my serving platter right here. And I'm going to go ahead and place my banana here. Now you can go ahead and, I want to get this little stringy off. You can do it any way you want. When they're saying sushi pieces, they're just talking about making sure you have little like chunks. See? So little like 1-inch slices or 1/2-inch slices, however large of a piece that you would like to eat. Okay, because typically you're going to eat this with chopsticks. And we'll go ahead and talk about chopsticks in a few minutes too, and how you can use chopsticks for this. And if you're not used to making chopsticks, I'll go ahead and show you how to make some kid chopsticks too. I'm just going to take off the end here just so it's a little more like a sushi roll. All right, so I have my banana. You can go ahead, you can separate it a little bit too if you want. If you've ever seen the sushi at sushi places, sometimes they have them in fun little shapes. So whatever you would like to do, the choice is yours. You can even like put them side by side, make it fun like that, like it would be in a sushi tray, like you would see at Kroger or maybe Publix. All right, so I have my bananas all chopped up, and now it says I have to measure a few more things. I'm just gonna move my cutting board out of the way. I'm gonna move my platter to the side for a moment while we finish measuring out all of our goodies. We need some chocolate chips. I really like macadamia nuts. I like to go a little healthier. But you can also do chocolate chips or sea salt chips. However you want to do it is perfectly fine. So we're going to be using those two in just a moment. And it says we need 2 tablespoons of melted peanut butter. So You can use good old peanut butter, or like I said, my daughter has an allergy, so we use sun butter in our house. So I'm just going to open up this jar of sun butter, and the best way to measure is to take your tablespoon. You can go ahead and put it in there, making sure it's nice and clean. See, that is too much sun butter, right? Too much sun butter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to actually take off the excess. All right. Now I have 1 tablespoon of sun butter. Just go around the edge. Go ahead and get it in that ramekin as best as you can. And now I'm going to do 1 more tablespoon. Go ahead and take a scoop. Try to level it as best as you can. If you see holes and gaps, again, just take that knife, kind of level it off, right? Level it off. Okay, get it in that ramekin. And as you know, peanut butter, sun butter, all that stuff is a little messy, but it is oh so yummy. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put that to the side. Now, if I was to put this in the microwave like this, I might have a pretty big mess, and my mom might not be too happy. So I'm gonna take it and I am going to cover it. All right, 30 seconds is all you need. 30 seconds. 3-0, start. All right, next up, you can choose either your chocolate chips or your macadamia nuts. You make the choice. I am going with macadamia nuts today. All right, 2 tablespoons. I have a different tablespoon because my other one was nice and yucky. Okay, I've got my ramekin right here. I'm gonna go ahead and just dip it in. 1, 2 tablespoons of macadamia nuts. I've got my strawberries, my nuts, and now it says graham crackers, ladies and gentlemen. This is where it gets a little fun. So you need crushed graham crackers, all right? I have my box of graham crackers right here, and I'm gonna take a bag, just like a large gallon-sized Ziploc bag, and I'm going to take 2 graham crackers. I'm going to put them right in here, and now I have to crush them up. If I was to seal this bag all the way up, it could pop when I start crushing it. So we want to go ahead and also take a tea towel or a hand towel of some sort, fold that bag, and wrap it up. Really, really important. We wrap it up as we're crushing. So if it explodes everywhere, we don't have a giant mess. Then you can use a rolling pin and you can roll it out to get your 2 tablespoons. Now, 2 tablespoons of graham crackers really shouldn't be more than 2 crackers. All right, and again, I have the French rolling pin. You can use any rolling pin that you have. If you don't have a rolling pin, you can use a glass. A glass works just as well too. Really, really trying to crush that up. If you have a mallet, you can also use a mallet. Take out a little frustration. Go ahead and just pound it out. All right. Feels like it's crushed. So let's go ahead and open up this bag and see what it looks like. Opening up my tea towel. I think that looks pretty good for what we're doing. So we need 2 tablespoons again. Got my ramekin. I've got my tablespoon. 1, 2. So 2 graham crackers with plenty. You might be able to get away with 1, but we had 2 for this instance. All right, I got my platter back over here. Get them all ready however you want them. The sun butter is ready. I'm going to go ahead and grab that because the very first thing we're going to do is we are going to drizzle that over the top. Your dish is probably going to be really hot, so make sure you use your kitchen cat towel or your tea towel to get that out so you do not burn yourself. All right, so I have my sun butter right here. It is very, very hot. Okay, here we go. So now we get to drizzle it over the top. And I think the best thing to do for this is going to be to use a spoon, mix it up a little bit, right? And just kind of bring it back and forth, just back and forth, just a little drizzle, drizzle. All right, I think that is pretty drizzly. It's drizzly to my liking. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and top it with some of those strawberries that we did. So those strawberries we did a little while ago. And just put some of those all over it. Again, however many you like, a little bit or a lot, whatever is to your liking. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and add your chips, whether they are the chocolate chips or the macadamia nuts, whichever you prefer. And then the last thing was those crushed graham crackers. So here we go. Go ahead and just pile on those graham crackers. All right, so we have our dessert sushi, or it could also be our fruit sushi, which is a healthier option. If you are not 100% comfortable using chopsticks like this, so you would just go ahead and get this a little higher. If you were to use chopsticks, the best way to do it is to place one chopstick here, all right, in between your thumb and your hand, almost like a pencil, right? Like you're getting ready to write with it. Okay, and then you're going to take the other chopstick and it's just going to kind of rest, and you'll see how you control it. All right, so you are just controlling it with this finger and your thumb. The bottom chopstick does not move at all, and then we use that to grab. If you're not comfortable using chopsticks like that, there are several other options. My kids love these easy to use chopsticks. They're already made for them, or you can make your own chopsticks. So if you ever go to an Asian restaurant, you have chopsticks that look similar to this, and they make them for you right there. So let's go ahead and look to see how we can make these. So we're going to take the wrapper, slide it out, go ahead and open them up very carefully, right? Sometimes you go like this to get off the splinters, although I have been told that do not do that in a Japanese or Asian restaurant because it is showing them that the quality of chopsticks is bad. So do not do that in an Asian restaurant, okay? Only if you get them from like Panda Express or like a fast food place. Again, the idea is that we're going to get these so that they can open and close. So you're going to take this paper that they have given you, and you are going to just roll it up really tight. Okay, just roll it up. And you're going to need a rubber band also. So rolling up that paper. All right. Sometimes you might want to go ahead and fold it over again so that you have just a little extra give. So you've got your paper, and what you're going to do now is you're just going to put it in between the two chopsticks. Okay, kind of try to find a flat spot, and it's going to kind of hold them open. You see what it's starting to do? And now we're going to take the rubber band and we're just going to put the rubber band over the top. This is a very large produce rubber band. I think it was on my celery. All right, make it nice and tight, and then you have it. So paper, rubber band, and then you have your chopsticks that you can use to get your banana sushi. Ta-da! All right, so next up, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to make peanut butter and jelly sushi. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that one. The best way to do it is just do peanut butter and jelly like you always would, except this time we're going to roll it out. All right, so if you don't have a rolling pin, again, you can always use a glass. So peanut butter and jelly sushi. We're just going to get some peanut butter or sun butter or almond butter, whatever kind of butter that you have at home that works for you and that you use on a regular basis. And then we are going to get bread and jelly or jam, whichever you prefer, jelly or jam. I'm going to go ahead and get everything ready to show you what we are going to do. So I'm going to bring you back. All right, here we go. Back down to my cutting board. So some good old-fashioned bread, whichever bread you typically use for sandwiches will be fine. So 2 slices of bread. All right, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut off the edges of the bread. All right, so very carefully, just getting that crust off, holding that knife properly. All right, getting that knife edges all the way off. Okay, watching those fingers, putting all of your scraps in your scrap bin. Watching those fingers. Always, always, always watch those fingers, making sure it's closer to your knuckle than your finger. Because see, I can cut my fingers there, but my knuckles, it's going to glance and go down. All right, so your knuckles should be sticking out a little further than your fingers. All right, ooh, got a little piece right there. All right, so I have my slices of bread right here. I'm going to use my rolling pin again. All right. And just go ahead and roll it out. Turn it. Roll it. Turn it. All right, one is done. This is similar to when we did the grilled cheese dippers last week, right? We cut off that crust and we rolled it out. So if you don't have a rolling pin, use a glass. The idea is to make it nice and flat. So if you think of sushi, it is rolling something, right? So it is a roll. And sushi typically refers to the salty, sour taste of the rice and the vinegar. So sushi rice is typically a main ingredient in sushi. All right, so we have our bread. Now I'm going to go ahead and get some peanut butter. I'm going to use peanut butter for this one. My son is not allergic to peanut butter, and he absolutely loves peanut butter and jelly. So every now and then we'll do this as kind of just a fun little different thing for him, a little surprise in his lunch. So putting that peanut butter on. Try to get it equally on there on all spaces. Dry bread is no fun. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and use, we like strawberry jam. You can use any kind of jelly or jam that you have in your house. I use a spoon to get out my jelly, especially since my daughter has allergies to peanut butter. It's so important that I never cross-contaminate. And if you don't know what cross-contamination is, it is mixing things that shouldn't be mixed. All right. So it can really make people sick if, like, I was using the same cutting board for vegetables as raw chicken, right? So if you have an allergy, sometimes the same knife is used, and when that happens, people can get really, really sick. So it's important whenever you go out that you always tell them you have an allergy first off, so they can make sure they haven't used the same cutting board and they haven't used the same knife. So we've got our peanut butter, we've got our jelly. We've been really careful to make sure that no peanut butter has gotten into our jelly jar. And now we get to roll them up. All right, so just very carefully taking the edge and rolling it up. It's probably going to get just a little messy on the end, and that is okay. All right, no worries. Same thing with the other one, roll it up. You might just want to give it a little squish, squish, just to make sure it stays. All right, and then go ahead and slice it into sushi rolls. Tip down, try not to crush it too much. Watch that pinky, tip down. You can cut it into little pieces or big pieces, whatever it is going to be to your liking. All right, so then I have my peanut butter and jelly rolls. I'm going to go ahead and just place them on the platter over here. You can face them any way you want. You can go up, you can go down, however you would like to do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and there we have it. Our 2 sushi style rolls with our homemade chopsticks. I hope you all have enjoyed this episode of Fun Sushi. I can't wait to see your dishes and see what you think. I will talk to you all next week. Again, please tell me what you think, give me feedback, and keep sending those dishes. Have a great day.